The other day I was out with one of my clients. We were shooting the shit. He's a wealth management guy. He was dealing with people's finances. And one of his clients, he found out his back end story in terms of how he made his wealth. He was a homeless guy. He was living homeless on the streets. Rough upbringing, terrible parents. Eventually, he was living on the streets by himself. I think he ran into one of his it was just to give you an idea in terms of how homeless he was. He was basically living with aluminum sheets as like bed sheets in the freezing cold here in Montreal. Now imagine you're homeless in that circumstance and you run into your step parents on the street. You're homeless, and what did she do? What stepmom? She started insulting him, shit talking him like you're a disgrace, low self-worth, just insulting him. The same people that like treat him like shit, that probably put him in a certain mentality to put him on the streets, started shit talking him. Imagine how humiliating that was. He said from that point onwards, that exact moment when he was homeless, and his mom was basically insulting him, went to the bathroom, washed his face, cleaned himself up, walked, I don't know, I think it was like 2-3 hours straight nonstop, looked for any job, found a job, I believe it was like a grocery store job or a cleaning job, and worked his way up. Eventually created a cleaning company, $6 million net sum, sold the company. Moral of the story, shit talking works. Sometimes you need your ego to be poked. Sometimes telling the truth to your face hurts. You can blame anyone around you for your circumstance, but sometimes if your whole world is telling you to your face what you are, chances are you are that. You can blame your whole circumstance. Like, my dad, my mom said, I had low self-worth, etc., etc. But I learned from my experience, you gotta be undeniable. You gotta be that guy who can. If the world is telling you what you are, you want to create habits on the other side of that basically nullifies anything that they say that you are. So if they think you're lazy, don't be a lazy fuck. I know it's hard to hear, but in the end of the day, sometimes your surroundings will tell you the truth, and the truth hurts, and love ain't lies. Sometimes, I don't know, I can't tell you that if his stepmom loved him or not, but I just realized from my experience from coaching people, sometimes shit talking works. Sometimes telling people they're a fat piece of shit, weak, ugly, it's shameful. People respond to it. People who don't want to hear the truth, it's because they're still sinking. They haven't hit rock bottom. It doesn't sound good, it doesn't feel good, but it fucks with our ego, because our ego will take us in the wrong direction. I lost kind of how many times my ego kind of took me in the wrong direction. But you kind of got to hear from the people around you. It's like, dude, you're kind of fucking up. Don't get me wrong. You don't want to hear from people in positions that like are not in a position to kind of tell you. Like, for example, I would never hear my dad and my mom tell me about working out. They're not in a position to do that. If that makes sense. You shouldn't be working out. What do you know? So if you're in a situation where you don't like hearing the truth, or you kind of like put that aside and brush it underneath the rug, and yet someone calls it to your face and it hurts your feelings and it irritates the fuck out of you, and you think the other guy's a dickhead, I don't think he's a dickhead. You should be thankful. I remember a time I was telling one of my friends, I had a conversation the other day. He said a joke. One of my best friends. He's a wise ass. He's one of those guys you don't want to get into a shit talking match with. He's very quick with his words. Very quick. He said something and it bothered the fuck out of me. It was a joke, but it hurt my feelings. But I remember going home and I couldn't get the thought out of my head over and over and over and over. It was consuming my fucking mind. I went from a good day to like an emotionally reactive bad day. Piece of fucking words. I told myself, Sam, this fucking sucks. That means someone can say things to my face. Someone can say a bunch of words and there goes my mood. There goes my day. I can't control what he says. I'm not that kind of guy. Like, you can't say that. You can say what the fuck you want. But I am weak for being able to be offended to that. What if it's something you can't change? Well, I forgot what he said exactly, but it wasn't like a quick fix kind of thing. It had something to do with how I looked and how skinny I was. So the very, very next day, I went to the gym. I started fucking wah. I was angry. I visualized kicking his fucking ass and punching him in the fucking head. By the end of the workout, I was so grateful to the fact that he even insulted me. The fact that he fucking talked shit was a good thing. And I was like, thank you. And I was just like, I just kind of realized it was all in my head. It was my ego was fragile. It was irritated by it. And do you think so it's a good thing. So like, he insulted me. I got a great work out of it. I grew from it, and I ground my emotions. I had a great day. So if you have that mentality where you can take any sort of negative internal state and turn it into a positive one based off channeled aggression, you turn into a fucking savage. Anyone I've seen with a savage body, it comes from a fucking dark place, which is a good thing, because most people say, you don't understand what I'm going through. I'm going through so much darkness. Negative thoughts, self-worth, ugly, shameful, depression, whatever it is. And people who have that body, if you look at them, it's just like, well, yeah, they overcame that. They were able to push through that. They were able to climb over that. What do you think heavy weights does? It makes you, it prevents you from fucking feeling like a dead weight, because you're picking up heavy weight. And when you lift heavy weight, you feel uplifted. It's really as simple as that. So when I kind of look at people's numbers, when I coach my clients, I look if their numbers are going up and up and up. And I always check and see how their mood is. And it's always great. After they hit PR, all my clients, every time they hit PR workouts, they're always having a great day. It's always a great day. This is what Growing Stronger is all about. Eventually, when you get the body, that's like the trophy. But if you don't put in the work, the trophy means fucking nothing. If I gave you a trophy for competing in martial arts and you never competed in martial arts, would you give a shit? No. But if I made you go through the whole fucking ring dinger, get your ass whooped, beat up, get up, fought against a fierce competitor, and you beat him. How uplifting would that trophy be? You can have it in the fucking living room, looking at that fucking thing, like that plastic piece of shit. I fucking love that, because there's an emotional attachment to it. So when you build a physique that has an emotional attachment to it, you appreciate it a fucking lot more. You're not looking for the body. You're looking for the work and then the body. The body is the end result, which never really stops, because you're going to be addicted to the fucking hard work. And the hard work is what builds a self-worth. And it's the energy we're looking for. You combine that with good nutrition, you're going to be healthy. And health is energy. And you keep moving, well, oxygen to the brain, calming your nerves, calming your nervous system. It's as simple as that. I shouldn't have to pitch or influence you to move. Like I have to convince you. It should be a no fucking brainer. You have to ask yourself why you're not doing it. And a lot of the reasons, because the same reason why the homeless guy, his reaction was different. His reaction was positive. He said, I'm going to fucking change from this point onwards. A lot of you guys don't see it that way. You're a victim to your circumstance. You're always too fucking busy. You have a house, you have a car, you have 2 kids, you have 3 kids, you have 4 kids, you have 1 kid, you have a kid coming. What happens when a kid turns 2? What happens when the kid turns 3? What happens when the kid turns 4? What happens when he goes to primary school? What happens when it's his birthday? It should never end. It's never going to stop. So when you accept the fact that this life is only going to get harder, and you use your workouts to build a positive mental attitude to get you through life, you become unfucking stoppable. I'll never forget this one time I was in the gym. I was talking to this one guy who, he said word for word, he's like, Sam, people make the excuse that I got kids, I got a mortgage, I don't have time to train. I tell them I got kids and I got a mortgage. I need to train. The mentality is different. For whatever reason, you find movement and nutrition a low energy state. I don't understand that. There's something wrong with your fucking brain. It's called being retarded to some degree. If you have to convince yourself of something that deep down inside you know that's going to be true, it's like I had to tell you that oxygen and water is a good thing. You're like, well, I don't really need that much. Well, okay, well, what's wrong with your brain? And then if I tell you there's something wrong with your brain, you're offended. You're like, this guy's mean. No, you're just stupid. It gets to a point where you kind of realize you're actually fucking yourself up every single day. There's a real reason why your mood is like this. There's a reason why you're unfuckable. And then chances are, you're going to get that corporate job over here. You're going to climb up the corporate ladder. You're going to let yourself go. You're going to get the job title, the car, the house, hoping she would fuck you, and realize you're just not fuckable. And realize, oh yeah, you know what? You're chasing a material identity. I'm not against all that stuff, but you got to understand something. Of course, you want to protect and provide. You want to look like a guy who's fuckable and a guy who's going to be able to provide. But if you're the guy who only able to provide and is not fuckable, guess what? She's going to be using you for your she's going to be using you for your money by definition. By definition. Because she's not using you for you. She's using you for everything you can provide, not you. not you. So the one thing I hope I get laid. Chances are, like, think about it. If you were fuckable, you first focused on you physically, and then you built the career, everything else around it. You could have gotten the girl and the physique, the attention that you're looking for without all that stuff. And then you build all that stuff. I would rather be fuckable than be able to provide them fuckable. To start. Then you build yourself up from there. Because chances are some of you guys are looking for the girl. And anyways, just a bit of I know I got a curveball. We talked about homeless people. We went from homeless people being poked, their egos being poked, which is probably chances are some of you guys are, because I know guarantee some of you guys are, when I get the car, when I get the house, when I get the job title, when I get the extra money which you're spending on drugs, alcohol, and stupid shit, a new TV which you don't fucking need, a vacation which you're gonna go on the beach and realize you're still out of shape, you still can't be present. Oh, I'm gonna work out today. You're not gonna work out. You could have worked out yesterday, or tomorrow morning, or right now. The mindset's fucked up. You guys need to change your mindset. You gotta change your outlook on life. There is no tomorrow. This is not a fucking rehearsal. You make it seem like it's a rehearsal. The homeless guy, he walked to his fucking job interview. He walked to his place 2 hours. He washed his face in that moment after he got poked. So hopefully after I poke you, some of you guys will be like, yeah, I'm going to do something about it right now.